to talking directly to the two families that I wanted to speak to. I did see Dr. Roslyn Okombe, the former IBC commissioner, asking who actually did fund this gathering here, this political gathering that the deputy president and the president decided to have after that church. Because then it's a legitimate question that we should be asking right now, because then as opposed then to letting the powers be that you put in place, this bodies, the KRA that you partly mentioned in that rant, do their job, you're now doing their job. Somebody asked this question. I'm going to put it to you, Oyola.
Yes.
Is it presidential what the president has just done right there?
Administratively, it is not presidential, but politically, it is presidential. There's a difference there. William Ruto is a president and is a politician, but is an executive president, is number one administrator in the government administration structure. So we expect that when he speaks like that, the agencies will be able to follow up with his vision. But we expected, KRA is not independent. Is not an independent. Yeah, that's one thing we have to know. It is a government. It looks like a government parastatal, still under the president, who actually appoints the chairman for the board. That is for KRA. KRA is not an independent institution.
Yes.
The only thing that I think the president is is chasing a wild goose is. We don't know exactly whether the families is targeting have committed a crime in terms of taxation, because we don't know whether they have evaded tax or avoided tax. Remember, there's a difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. Yes. Tax evasion is when you hide documents for purposes of taxation. You hide so that you're not taxed. Tax avoidance is you use the loopholes in the law and the system not to pay tax. For example, if you look at a good example of tax avoidance, which is not illegal, it is legal. NCBA was exempted from that tax, that tax in the transaction they did. Was it for Kenya Airways or something?
Yes, yes.
Now that is tax avoidance. It is not criminal, and you can't take them anywhere, because it is a government agency that allowed them. They are innocent. Just like 2013 when there was a presidential debate between former President Ruto and Raila Odinga. And people are saying, oh, this is land. Raila protected Uhuru. He said, this is just an innocent inheritor. You can't criminalize him. That is what is happening today. We don't know whether the companies associated to former president, former president's families, all of them, even I saw Dennis Itumbi are still in activists, they are still in active. And I think that is why he has not been appointed, because when you are in government, there is a way you need to handle yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes I look at my friend Dennis Itumbi, and I sympathize with him. I might not know so much, but I know a little that I have known. When you're given an office that is nondescript, you are bound to put your fingers on very many information. Some of those information are too dangerous for you to have it. In fact, they're too dangerous that even your boss cannot be comfortable with you when you put your hand on them. And I needed him to at least have an office somewhere so known that he can operate from there. If you look at the kind of things, he's opening a lot of cans of worms. Raila, there's dumped fuel somewhere.
Yes.
There are no documents. They're just, they're stories. And there's a danger that if the president continue to respond to Azimio wing, and he continue to be attending, he's actually honoring the invitation of the opposition wing, guys.
Yes.
They're inviting him to come the ground for politics and forget about performance. And at the end of the day, Kenyans will ask questions. We had 5 years. What exactly did you do? Remember, 2013, the same wing, the Jubilee wing, especially when with former President Uhuru, they got into power using almost the same kind of wave about young people, digital and analog. It was the same language. 2 years down the line, public confidence had plummeted to the lowest level. They had to struggle to win an election of 2017, which had to be nullified. William Ruto, as a president right now, should not think that is indispensable. Kenyans can be able to make a choice at any time. And I think the reason why the president and his team are afraid about the opposition onslaught is because they know that this government, if you look at it in terms of, when you look at the data around their win, it is a government that was elected by minority. It is a minority government because you have 22 million voters and you win by 7 million. It means 15 millions never voted for you. 7 million of 22 million comes to around 36%. So it means almost 64%, a huge mass, are not on your side. And that is what he's afraid of, because he knows very well that he got 7 million, Baba got 7 million, with a difference of around 200,000 in between there. That he was ahead around, he had around 7.2.
Yes.
Yeah, Baba around 6.9, around 7 and 7.
Yes.
Then there is a silent 8 million. The question you need to ask yourself, this 8 million that never came out to vote, who exactly are these people? If you look at the type of mobilization that the current president did for his bid, is like he went full throttle and mobilized almost the entire base that he can have. His people went behind him knowing that the system is against us. Guys, if we don't come out, we are done. So everybody came out. And the side of Baba, there is a likelihood that most of them, some of the 8 million guys, they sat back because they knew system is on their side. So they never came out to vote. If they tell you that Nyanza had almost 700,000 voters, what does it tell you about other regions who are also Baba voters? They never came out because they knew the government would be able to facilitate Baba's win. So out of this 8 million, Baba's is favored. His wing is got almost a larger percentage in that mass of people.
Yes.
Then there is also another group of people that were very skeptical. They never trusted Baba. They never trusted President Ruto. So they were just, we don't care. We will not come out and vote, because they don't trust all of them. But now there's a problem. The president, William Ruto, one of the candidates they never trusted, is already in power. So these people, if the president does not perform now, this other lot that were very skeptical of the two will be able to make a choice in 2027. It is not a game over that we can be so sure that the current administration will go 10 years. That one I know very well. It will depend on the candidate and organization that opposition will be able to bring out. He only beats, the only thing that I always like the president for is that he's very organized and he's a guy who is good in follow-up. A biggest problem that Azimio suffered, they only suffered out of their own mistakes. They kept on ignoring so many small things. Of course, the wing for deputy president had infiltrated a lot of operations around Azimio campaign.
Yes.
And most of the people who were advising were actually people for deputy president. The only thing that Azimio were never keen on is that they could not listen to the sixth sense or even another silent voice that would tell them. They would dismiss it. Don't worry about that, has been taken care of. And there is nothing that is being taken care of. And therefore, the reason why deputy president is not sitting pretty and the entire Kenya Kwanza administration do not sit in pretty. And Musalia Mudavadi is aware of that. He keeps on telling these people, we have no time to do politics. Let us get out and go and work. Because at the end of the day, 2027 might be a very complicated campaign. In fact, it will take William Ruto more than just ordinary campaign to win back his seat. Otherwise, it will be a very tall order for him to win it back again. Azimio, really, I like their communication. I mean, how do you call it? These rallies they're starting.
Yes.
In my opinion, they need to come up with more rallies. The reason why they need to come up with more rallies is because the government wanted a strong opposition that was able to check them. But now they're feeling that the opposition is now biting them more than they thought.
It was actually a note saying that we need opposition to put us in check, isn't it?
Yes. Actually, they said we need a strong opposition.
Strong opposition. Now it's coming out to be too strong.
It's coming to now. They're now joining them in deploying them in the field.
Yes. I want us to look at this one because that's exactly what we're going to start our second part of our conversation this morning.